So it's just you just got to learn how to. I think it all comes down to being able to meditate, quiet your mind, and know how have a good like morning routine, a good night routine, and that's how you kind of get your mind back on track. Easier said than done, though, for sure.
I need to do this. I'm in desperate need of this. What would you suggest? How do I get on the horse?
I mean, for me, the Waking Up app, Sam Harris, he's like this neuroscientist, walks you through meditations. This is like a 90-day thing or 50-day or whatever it was. Just like introduction into meditation, and I did that a long time ago, and I feel like that kind of helped me get into a routine.
So you wake up and you put this on?
Yeah.
You listen to it?
Not this one specifically every time, but that's how I started, the Waking Up app, and it was just I forget how long. I think it was 30 days.
Okay.
You do it every morning. I think there was like 3 minutes for the first couple days, then it's 5 minutes for the first couple days, then it gets to 10 minutes. So I do 10 minutes every morning. I feel like it really helps me kind of just start my day and be able to, think a little bit more clearer. But yeah, I think that's like the recipe for being able to deal with anxiety, depression, all those things. I think it comes down to just meditation and being able to quiet your mind. And I think that's why I succeed so much in fights. I just go somewhere else in the back. I just completely let go of everything. I just surrender to the moment. I have a conversation with myself. I say I'm just gonna let my higher self take over. And I feel like it's hard for me to even remember the walkout or the fight itself because I feel like it's not even me.
Wow.
It's wild.
So you're meditating in the locker room?
Yeah, just breathing, following my breath. I mean, the UFC is doing a cool-ass documentary that's going to be, I think, released. I think it's actually going to be released next year, early next year, where they were following me around before the fight week, in the back. I'm excited to see that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really
They're
cool.
so behind you, and people look at that as like a knock, but I think it's incredible like that. They posted the entire finish.
Yeah.
I think it might have even been like the entire fight, like right after.
The whole second round.
Yeah. Right after.
Yeah, that was crazy.
They never do that.
No, on YouTube, on Insta,
Yes, on Twitter, yeah.
or X.
They'll take that shit down right away because
Yeah.
it was just on pay-per-view. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm not even supposed to technically post it on my social medias, but I'm like, well, it's everywhere. So.
Right.
But yeah, that was crazy. I think that moment deserved it though. Like that moment.
Yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
Well, especially because you have been on the radar for so long. But so I'm wondering, like, for someone who thought he was the champion for so long, to now be living it, to actually be living about the thing that you were dreaming of. That's an intense thing, right?
I literally just feel like a normal dude. Like
nothing's changed.
No, I feel if I like the only thing. Well, even before, like if I'd go into public or go to a club or anything, I was referred to as champ when I walked in. Like everyone called me champ for years. Now that I'm champ, it's just like still it feels. I feel like just a normal dude, especially when I hang out with all my buddies. They're roasting me, giving me shit, talking to me like just a normal dude. Like I don't feel like I hang around people that are just like think I'm cool. Especially Tim.
Right.
Tim definitely, he just treats me like a, normal person.
I guess what I was referring to is like when you think of something, like when do you think was the first time you thought of the idea of being UFC champ? How old were you?
That's crazy you said it because I don't think I've ever even told this story. I think I was like 17, 18. This was before I even watched the UFC. Like I knew what the UFC was. And I started kickboxing. I started training a little bit, and I was like, okay, maybe like so delusional. Like I'm gonna be UFC champ. Never even had an MMA fight at this time. I think I was 17 years old, and I watched this show on Netflix called The Secret. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
And
Wait, like the movie or the
whatever, like where you just think it. And
okay,
yeah. Pretty sure it's called The Secret.
Yeah.
And I went in my basement, and I guess I meditated on it or whatever. But at the time, I went out there, put a blanket, like made a little fort, turned off all the lights, pitch black, and I just saw like me winning the belt, which is so weird to even think about because I didn't even have an MMA fight yet. And so that was like the first time I ever thought like I could be champ.
Yeah, you never even been in a fight?
I kickboxed. I had kickboxing, and I was like, because I wanted to be famous for what I wanted to be rich, wanted to be famous. I just didn't know what I was gonna do. I wanted to be in the NFL. Realized real quick that's not gonna happen. So I was like, and
that was the first dream.
That was the first dream.
Okay.
NFL, NBA, like one of those. I love sports. But then I was like, okay, I would kickbox. I was like 4-0 kickboxing, couple amateur boxing fights, knocking dudes out when I was like 16 years old. I was like, oh, damn, this came kind of natural, and it was fun. And I was like, well, I have one plan. Like, I'm gonna figure out how to just make fighting. I thought I was gonna kickbox at first because I hated wrestling, hated jiu-jitsu, wouldn't even go to the classes. Jiu-jitsu would end, and then there's like kickboxing. I would get there a little bit early, and they were all in their gis, and I'm like, that looks so stupid. And so I never went to that until I moved to Arizona, really. And then, so I just thought maybe I'll kickbox. But even then, I don't know why I was so delusional thinking about, but it worked out.
Dreamed into reality. Oh, that looks good.